right, good evening, everybody. I wanted to be able to have this meeting with you
I got
because
the plates, so you got
I wanted to have this meeting this evening just because I anticipated there would be a
this
lot of
way.
questions after the superintendent's press conference on Thursday. And the district released its back to school plan to us all on Thursday. And so I wanted to be able to answer any of the questions that you have that I can answer, and just let you know that we have been working in anticipation of what a plan could be and have various scenarios. But Tougaloo also released their plan to us with the tweaks on Thursday as well. And so what we try to do is blend the JPS plan and the Tougaloo plan and the early college requirements to create our own plan. And so I wanted to make sure um, as we are working through what back to school will look like for us, I could answer any questions that I could. And you have to forgive me. I'm on the campus of Tougaloo. We are labeling laptops for your pickup on Monday. So a few basic things that you will know for our this is our cohort 2. For cohort 2, Tougaloo's classes will start on August the 6th. JPS classes start on August the 10th. That means they need their laptops in advance because school will start for them for their college courses before we go back to school. So classes start for Tougaloo on August the 6th. And I will email this information to you all on or in school status because I have you all in school status. So August 6th, it'll be important that you all monitor the use, the login to the college classes. Those were some of the challenges that we had over the last 9 weeks when we were out of school, that the students were not logging in. And some students earned F's in classes. And unfortunately, this year we are a little bit smaller. You cannot earn a D or an F in a college class because it doesn't count anymore on your record. And so they need to have B's or above, and they can do it. And Mrs. Molden is here to be a resource for them if they are struggling, if they need help, if they need tutorial. She works with us and our team to coordinate those services. What can happen is that they don't turn it in on time, and then they're asking, well, she hadn't graded it, and they turned it in 2 weeks late, and they want her to the professor to grade the assignments overnight, and it won't happen, and they may or may not. Normally, they don't accept late work. So I want us to be proactive going into the school year and ask you to monitor the login for our 10th graders. All of their college classes will be at 8 a.m. On every day, 8 a.m. There's one cohort of students who will have two college courses because they will be in college algebra. And those are students that Ms. Bowles identified um, as being eligible to take college algebra. And most of our students, we always have one group of students who take college algebra in the 10th grade because we don't have two math teachers. We only have one math teacher. And so she does not have enough sections to teach all. So we put the students who perform well in algebra or in her math class in the college algebra course, and then they can go ahead and get that. It also helps keep them on track for the associate's degrees that have those upper level math requirements like the engineering program. And so I wanted to make you aware that all college classes, every day, your child has an 8 o'clock college class starting on August the 6th. And when you get the schedules on Monday, you will see which students have a 9 o'clock class on every other day. And so that's something to know. Another thing to know is that at our school, just like the district, all parents have the option to select virtual. And it's important that you do the survey that I sent to you last night so that we will know for planning, because we've got to make sure Tougaloo right now, I'm in the courtyard at Holmes Hall. We're going around in every classroom, and the facilities department is saying a cap on the number of students that can even come in the classroom and be socially distanced. And so we don't have enough room for everyone to be in the classroom as it is. And so we have worked out some various schedules where ninth grade students will come to school on Mondays and Wednesdays face to face for physical science, U.S. history, English 2, and their those classes, and their sophomore seminar class. Those will be face-to-face classes if they choose to come. uh sophomore sophomore students, I'm sorry, will come to school third Tuesday and Thursday. Sophomore students come to school Tuesday and Thursday for those classes. And then all other classes will be virtual on the other days. So the face-to-face days, if you choose hybrid, will be Tuesday and Thursday. They have an 8 o'clock college class that they will need to be here for. Um, 8 o'clock college class, and then we have a schedule, a modified block schedule, where they will take 4 other classes, and they will still get out at the same time at 3:35, like we did last year. And so that's something to note. Now, many of you have reached out to me in various capacities, because this is a new situation, and everybody, including me, I'm a parent. Uh, uh, we don't necessarily know what's the best thing to do. We're trying to find the best thing to do for our children. So in planning ahead, every summer at our school, we bring the teachers back for 2 weeks in the summer to plan, to work, to reflect on the school year, and come up with how we're going to do things, how we can improve things for the school year coming up. Well, it just happened that this year we'd already scheduled to be in sessions this week and next week, but we didn't know we would be planning for a pandemic. But it's given us the time to really work together to think about, as a parent and for the teachers, how can we best attack this new situation. One of the things we thought about was, the cases are increasing every day. It's over 1,000 the last, I think, 3 days in a row, and that is alarming to many people. And so we have decided the best route would be for all of our assignments to be virtual. So even if a student chooses face to face, the assignments will be delivered online. So if I'm physically sitting in the classroom as a student in Miss Murphy Johnson's class, I'm going to have my laptop up, and she's going to be pushing out the assignments on there. They won't submit any paper. They won't be turning in paper. They won't be sharing supplies. And so the students who choose virtual will follow their same schedule. So if I'm scheduled for Miss Murphy Johnson at first block, and I choose virtual. And Tamika Avery is scheduled for Miss Murphy Johnson, and she chooses hybrid, so she's physically at school. When Tamika Johnson comes into class for her first block class, I log in. And so I'm going to be seeing everything that Tamika Avery sees while she's physically in the classroom. The classes will be broadcast live using Zoom. We are working to try to get some equipment that will make that a lot easier for us. We've asked for swivels, which are they allow you to connect with Canvas, with Zoom. They follow the teacher as the teacher speaks. The camera moves to follow the voice. It's just a really cool thing. So we have requested that. We're hoping that the district will fund that. We think it will be good. We know it will be good for our students. But even if not, we will have some webcam capability where the class will be broadcast. Right now, we're saying using Zoom. And so I would log in at home at the same time that my classmates sit down in the class. And so I'm in class with them. So that's why the teacher cannot have two different lessons going on. So the students who physically show up are going to get the same lesson as the ones who are at home. And so we right now we're playing around with capabilities. Um, Zoom has a paid version where you can do breakout sessions. They can be working in groups. digitally. You can come back for whole group activities, and the students at home and the students at school still get to connect with each other and work together because they will all be in school at the same time, all going to class at the same time. So when that class is over and Tamika Avery goes to Miss Cooper's class for physical science, then I'm going to log in to Miss Cooper's class at the same time. And so when we have lunch periods, then the virtual people will have their lunch break as well. And so that's kind of how we envision it, so that we can lessen the probability of any transmission of anything inadvertent. We can try to protect the students whose parents opt for them to come to school, and definitely honor the parents who opt for their children to go to school virtually, so that you don't miss anything. It's going to be the exact same thing. So we didn't want parents to feel pressured to send their children to school, because I don't want them to miss out. I don't want them to get something different. They're going to get the exact same thing. Now, what I have challenged my teachers with, which is why we're sending these emails at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is why there might be, I promise y'all, I'm doing everything along with the team who's working tremendously hard to make sure we can not just put something together, but make this honor our mission and vision. We want to be a top ranked model school of innovation, and we're not going to let a virus get in the way of that. So the charge to the teachers is to make these virtual environments engaging, to make these virtual environments still under the rigor. We want these virtual environments to still allow us to do things like we were able to do even during the pandemic, the fourth term, where we still have our assemblies virtually. I still met with the students virtually. We had guest speakers. We did teacher recognition. We did student recognition. And so we want to still have homeroom challenges. We want all those things that make us unique and that connect us as early college family. Those things still have to exist in this virtual environment, and that has been a challenge to the teacher. So this week and next week, they're in professional development. Mrs. Molden has done a phenomenal job. She is our lead interventionist. Also, she's our college liaison. So if the students struggle, she is who they would need to go to. They don't need to wait. They don't need to say, oh, maybe I can figure it out. No, they need to immediately say, look, I don't understand this and I need help. It can be the second day. They need to say it sooner than later so we can get the support for them. Because in the college classes, they don't have to give you a grade until the end of the class. That means you could be in there all semester and then make an F or make an A. And so we need to make sure on all those assignments, whatever they give the students, that they excel. And so what we've asked in learning from our prior years is that although that may be a college procedure where they only have to give grades at the end of the term, we're asking for interim grades, checkpoints. That's something that they don't typically do, but we're asking them to do it for us, and they have been doing it for us. They started last year, January of this year, when we reached out and we worked with the assistant provost and the dean of the school of education here. So we have moved from Owens Health and Wellness to Holmes Hall, and the 10th graders will be utilizing the top floor. Right, if you're looking at Holmes Hall Auditorium, where we've had several programs, it's to the left. It's right down that hallway to the left. There used to be like 100 desks stacked up in the hallway. There may be 100 desks stacked up in the hallway that way, but it's right to the left of the auditorium. And then Miss Murphy Johnson's classroom is currently still in Benny G. Thompson, where it was last year. So we have 10th graders in Holmes Hall 1 and Holmes Hall 2, which are the first two classrooms to the left of the auditorium, and then Miss Murphy Johnson's classroom. And so that's where they will be. Breakfast. One thing that we did for our 10th graders last year who were in college algebra, it was in an 8 o'clock college class, we encourage them to eat breakfast at home. Now, our district is going to provide breakfast, but in the event that breakfast is late, you can't be late to your college class. So that means we will have to save it for you and get it to you. So you can't be late to your college class. So we encourage parents to just help our students eat breakfast at home if possible. If possible, we will have it, But we don't want you to be caught off guard by saying, oh, well, because our breakfast is brought in from another school. Northwest is our feeding site, and they also feed Capital City and some other locations. So they prepare the breakfast all at Northwest, and they transport it in the mornings from Northwest to Capital City, then to us. So imagine the time that that takes. So if something happens, if there's an accident, or if some reason there is a delay, or if something happens, then they could be late here, and the students won't have time to eat breakfast, and we don't want that to be the case. So let's just be proactive, and I'm a 10th grade parent too. So let's be proactive and make sure that they eat breakfast, if at all possible, at home. Okay, now the plan for meals is grab and go. So they will have some sort of pick up and carry breakfast. We are working out the logistics about how they can socially distance during during breakfast time, because we don't have a lot of time. The students will still arrive at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm told that they will have kiosks where they will need to enter their lunch numbers in and pick up whatever the breakfast is. So you're imagining what kind of breakfast can be grab and go, that you just pick it up and take it with you. Um, that's what's going to happen. So lunch will also be grab and go. Lunch will also be grab and go. But we're working out the logistics for lunch to see how else we can do it so they're not in the district. I believe is recommended that they eat lunch in the classroom. We like for them to be spread out further when they eat lunch, uh, to socially distance still if possible, because they will have their mask off, and there will be breaks. I believe we have breaks planned in the morning and in the afternoon for students, so they can have time without their mask on. The challenge. I'm a social person, and I'm a hugger, and you know how much I love all of the students. They cannot they cannot be in groups huddled up. They are still supposed to honor the social distancing. So when they get a break from their mask, then they could be in the courtyard, but they're not talking to their friends, face to face. What happened to my laptop? I don't know what happened to my video. They're not talking to their friends face to face. They are trying to maintain that distance, but still have some time where they will not have to just be in the mask all day. But we're working out procedures for how do you go to the restroom? What do we need to do? What are the procedures when you come in the classroom? Students are going to be cleaning off their desk area before they sit in it and after with the CDC approved products. We are going to do everything that we can do to make sure that they are protected and we are protected. But school physically will look different. We are deciding if it would be best for students to change classes or for the teachers to rotate to the students. And so that's something that we've got to figure out before school starts. But again, what the students get virtually is going to be the exact same thing that the students get physically. And so you can be comforted if that's your choice. I know I've gotten several emails, and if virtual is your choice, I mean, that's going to be the same thing. Students will be seated in the classroom, logged into their computers, getting their assignments. At Tougaloo, they will have a division between the teacher and the student. And so there will be a line that where the teacher is on one side and the students are on the other side. So when they come to school, it's not where they are walking around the classroom. It's back where they if you would mute yourselves until we get to the question part. That's my video. It is where they stay seated, and so they will be seated until their break time. If we don't allow the students to rotate for safety reasons, and if they do rotate, there will be a procedure for that, and they will clean their desk upon entry, and and their check cleaning area, log into their computer. The teacher will teach to them and those who are online, and then they will clean it again before they leave if they change class. So let's see, buses. I'm told that the buses will be taking temperatures before students board the bus. What we're asking you to do, we have waived all attendance requirements. Like there is no, you can't miss this many days, or you can't miss more than this many days. So we want to get rid of that. We're not encouraging people to not attend school. What we're saying is we are not going to put parents in a position where they're sending their child to school sick because they don't want them to miss out on this program. So we're going to erase all of that. Don't worry about that. If they need to be at home,
we're losing you. You frozen and you breaking up.
Hopefully you all should come back in when she has a better connection. So we'll just give her a minute, and then if you have any questions, maybe I can try to entertain some of those questions.
I signed my son up to do to come in school. So how would I go by? Trying to do some virtual instead of coming in if physically coming in.
What was that question again?
I said I had signed my son to come to the school because I didn't know whether he would understand the experience. So I had wanted him to come in school, but since I got the understanding of it, I wanted to switch to where he can do a virtual.
You would just go back into active parent and make your selection there. And eventually they're going to lock it. So you all did a survey for me. That doesn't count. That's just so I'll know we can fit this many people in class or not. But you go back into active parent. And if you put it on the survey, we're going to ask you again, probably by next Friday, what your choice is, because it's so new right now. You just might not know. But what I want you to know is the people who show up here, what they get is going to be the same, because it's just going to be like they might be at the kitchen table at your house and they're going to be at their desk here. It's going to be the exact same thing. And I have challenged the teachers to make that same thing better than what we have done in the past. So this is an opportunity for me to make us grow, to make us get better, to make us improve. And we hope to be the innovators, the ones that people that you all are out talking about. School is phenomenal, and other people say, well, what are you all doing over there? So school can be great everywhere around us. And so again, if you chose officially, which is an active parent, a choice, and you want to change that choice, you just go back in active parent and make that change. Click a different button. And then we will send out another survey to you on next Friday to ask you. So if you change it with them, and you can just let me know again when you do the survey again on next Friday. Okay. Other questions?
Okay.
Hi, Dr. Evans.
Hi. I can't see anybody now. I had to move to my phone.
Can you hear me? No. You can hear me? I can't hear you now.
I can hear you.
Okay. When you were talking about the college courses that start at 8,
Uh-huh.
are they gonna be able to be online as well with the college courses? I can't hear anything.
Okay, so initially that was not going to be the case. I met with the president and her cabinet on Monday in anticipation of what could be the plan for us. And I posed, if the district allows parents this option to be virtual only, will Tougaloo allow that option? And that was not in their plan initially. So that's a good point. Tougaloo will be virtual from August the 6th until after Labor Day. So August the 6th through Labor Day. No, you make it right. August the 6th through Labor Day is online for everybody at Tougaloo anyway.
Okay.
After August the 6th, they're going to phase in. Like they're going to say like freshmen, you're going to make a left. Freshmen are going to come the first 2 weeks after Labor Day. And then the next group, will come the next 2 weeks. Depending on, that's their plan now, depending on what the world looks like, at that time.
Okay.
On last night, they emailed me back and said, okay, so another thing, if the classes are over 15, if they are 15 or over, then those classes will be online for Tougaloo students as well. And so our students are Tougaloo students to Tougaloo. So if the classes are above 15, they will be online. Pretty much all of our classes are over 15 except for college algebra.
Okay.
Last night they told me they would approve that. So virtual is an option. So now, our goal in working with Mrs. Molden and our team, we wanted the choice to be an easy one for you, especially safety, whatever you think that is, could be easy. So now if you choose virtual, you can be virtual for Tougaloo too. So there's no pressure to show up for that either.
Okay. So do we get a different login or something for them for the college classes, or they'll get out there closer to school start?
We're gonna give all that they need to you. They already are set up in Moodle because they had a college class last year. Right here, sweetheart.
Okay.
They already had a college class last year. But again, you're not gonna have. We're gonna take right now. It's just for. Right now, you don't even know what school looks like. This is just general questions. I'm gonna over communicate. So that's on this side. So everything that you all need, we're gonna make sure that you all have it. We're also allowing Tougaloo the opportunity to be able to work out their plan as well, make the adjustments that they need to make to accommodate this. But we'll make sure, and we'll have the kids test their Moodle and all of that before classes start. And if you, on that day, Mrs. Molden, on the 6th, Mrs. Molden will be on alert to monitor that and monitor her email to see if there are any problems with logging in on that day, so that she can be a support.
Let me ask
Other
you.
questions?
I have another question.
Okay.
We're trying to go on active parent now to request a virtual, but it's not the virtual. It's taking us through something like we have to register again. I can't hear you.
See,
Huh?
I don't know. It says, just see if you might have to go through it. Just see if you go through it again. If you just verify what you already have in there, see if it will let you change it then. And if not, if you could go ahead and try that would be good information for me. You might as well just stop until one of these cars leaves.
Okay.
That would be good information for me.
Renee is working on it right now.
So if you go back through it and it doesn't let you change, what I can do, you gotta just. I'm sorry, my son is driving, y'all. So
it's okay.
Oh, Dylan. It's okay. Oh, he said stop, don't show you. So I'm trying to be the dab guy. I was planning to drive, but now I'm on the call. So I can reach out to enrollment services and ask them how you will go about switching. Now, another thing is, I believe the plan says that, let's say you choose virtual. Now, once you make that choice, you cannot change your choice in the middle of the term. You got to wait to the end of the 9 weeks. So if you choose virtual and you like, oh, I would rather do face-to-face, and on the second week of school, you can't change. You're going to have to keep whatever you chose to the end of the first 9 weeks. And then I'm not sure if they decided, they might only allow you to choose to change your mind one time. Because when you change your mind, we have to change the schedules. It could change everybody's schedule. So once you pick, like, we're going to work out right now, though. But once you choose one option and you're good within the school starts, once you choose, you can't choose in the middle. You can't change in the middle of a term. You can only change at the end of a term, and then you might only be able to change one time. So if you move from virtual to face for second 9 weeks, then you might have to keep face-to-face all year. Now, another thing to know is, like, let's say I chose face-to-face, and somebody in my family has coronavirus, or the student, God forbid, any of us get coronavirus. But let's say that that they're exposed in some way, or they have the virus, and they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, or until they test negative, or until they can bring the clearance back to school. They move to virtual, whether you chose face-to-face or not. Now, that could also mean everybody in that classroom might have to be quarantined, and the teacher, and maybe me, and other, I mean, we only have 11 people at our school. So that means we all touch all the students. So it could be, whatever the threshold will be, it could be where our school could be virtual and the rest of the district is not. It could be where all of 11th grade or all of 10th grade is virtual because of something like this, and the rest of the school is not. So we are prepared to be nimble like that. But again, because we are so small, and everybody is in close proximity, then if one person gets the virus and they are in the classroom, it could be that everybody in that room and all the teachers that have been in there, it could be that they also have to quarantine. So we are waiting on guidance about that as well. So throughout the year, I mean, we make the plans, but before we go to school, the governor could say, or that we don't return to school yet, or also, we don't know, or it could be we return to school and something happens, and there has been some exposure, and like I said, certain grade levels have to be virtual. It could be that a teacher calls us and says that they cannot come in because they have been exposed, and and if the teachers can't come, it might be, that's why school status is going to be important. It might be that that we have to notify you can't come to school, that we're going to do it virtually. So again, we're living in, a time we've never lived in before. Yeah. And we just got to be prepared to move in and out of virtual and face-to-face. If you choose hybrid. If you choose virtual, then it doesn't, it won't impact you.
Okay, let me tell you about the she changed it to virtual. It's taking her all the way. And of course we put our homeschool, right?
Right. Put your homeschool.
Okay, she's still going through it, but she's still going through it, but she's still taking her through something else.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. So now let's come back to you, Ms. Radler. Let's see if there are anybody else with any other questions, because we have an 11th grade meeting. So any other questions? And again, I can't see if a student decided they wanted to change their degree over the break, what would their process? It's going to be real easy for 10th graders because it doesn't really matter right now. They're all taking general classes, and they could just let Ms. Fleming know, and we can switch them. It's not going to impact them in any way if they want to move from engineering to education. It doesn't matter. It really matters when they get to 11th grade. Like our 11th graders are completely Tougaloo students. Other questions?
This is Mrs. Thompson. I was trying to figure out if you talk with the support about the links for active parents.
Let me see. I reached out to them, Miss Kirsch, and she said, I sent a screenshot even of the message that no students were available. And she's saying that code only comes up when somebody is new to the district. So that's just an error that they're trying to work out on your end. And hopefully I will, after this call, Ms. Thompson, send me a reminder in school status, and I'll call Dr. Hollins on his cell phone and ask him to what were the results from that investigation on your account.
Okay.
Oh, I did mention on the bus will still run. They are really trying to commit to getting our students here, for 7:30. But in our district, if they have right now, it is where the bus drivers take their temperature. If they have a temperature, they still can get on the bus, and they will sit in a certain section on the bus with other people who, anybody else who may have any symptoms, but they will be on the bus. And then when they get to school, we would notify the parents to come and pick them up. So if you were planning on them being a bus rider, you may have heard that, but right now that is the plan, where the bus driver would take temperatures. The student would still be able to get on the bus and come to school. And then we would have to notify you to come pick them up, and they have to be picked up. Okay. Other questions? Nobody else? How you doing?
I didn't know if y'all were about to tank up. I was going to fill this up.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Great,
thank you.
You're welcome. We are. I think you can go ahead. So no other questions. So again, we want you to, so I think Ms. Rattler says that you can go back in and change your selection. It might make you start over, where you got to re-verify your contacts and all of that. But I think she said they had success in changing from face-to-face to virtual. And so we'd like for you to, when you have time to think about it, that you go ahead and make your selection, and then we will send out another survey so we can get accurate information about what you chose on next Friday. Again, so I've talked about the bus. We talked about lunch is going to be, so sack lunches, box lunches. Of course, students could bring their own food. They can't do waiter. They can't do waiter or have deliveries. We can't have visitors. You can't come up to the school. You can't come up to the school and say, "Oh, I need to come in for any reason." We can't have visitors. We're working out a procedure for when the student arrives late. Okay, we're working out that procedure. We're working out the procedure for when students arrive late, how we would get you to sign them in without having you come in. So there are just, some nuts and bolts that we will discuss at orientation. Orientation is August the 9th at 4 o'clock, and you'll get a Zoom link for that. So all these logistics that we still are working out, and I'm sure you all may have some ideas. You can shoot them to us, Ms. Mold and Ms. Fleming, me, and then we would definitely consider them. But other than that, I just wanted your general questions to be answered, and so you would have a general view. So in summation, 10th graders would come to school for their core classes: math, language, arts, science, and social studies, specific math, language, arts, science, and social studies, college algebra, geometry, and algebra 2 as of today will be virtual, because Ms. Bowles teaches 9th grade as well, that tested course Algebra 1. So she's going to deliver those virtually. On the virtual days, is going to be, Ms. Bowles will be in her location teaching the course, fully, not just a video, not edgenuity. It's going to be the teacher live teaching the class, unless for some reason like somebody is absent from work. So we plan to have live instruction every day, and the students who are virtual will get that same live instruction. Students will log in at their regular class times and they follow their schedule virtually as their peers might be following their schedule physically. Again, it could be where the students stay in their homeroom all day and the teachers rotate to them, or it might be where students are able to change classes to the math, language arts, science, or social studies class. It might be that way. If the college class is so large that they can't do it virtually, and the student is at school, you know, like you chose face-to-face, and the college class is gonna do face-to-face for classes less than 14. If they will go to their college class, if the class is if you choose face-to-face and the college class is meeting, then they will go meet with that class. If the college class is above, if is 15 or above, even if you choose face-to-face, they will be virtual. They will still just sit in their homeroom teachers. They will be with their homeroom teacher and log into their college class and do the work there. So even if they choose face-to-face, if that college class is virtual because they cannot maintain social distancing, they have more than 15 students, then they would do the class online from their homeroom teacher's class. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the show up days right now for 10th grade. Those are the days, if you choose hybrid, that they would come to school. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we said they would be checking temperatures. You can bring your children to school. You can pick them up. The times will be 8 to 3:35, 8 a.m. to 3:35. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I heard you. Did you say the classes were in class? Whether they're virtual or not?
If you choose hybrid,
no, if you choose virtual, is everything virtual?
Again, okay, so if you choose hybrid and you choose to come to school, on Tuesdays and Thursdays would be the days you would come to school. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday would be virtual for everybody, no matter what you choose. So that we can have half the number of students at school. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are virtual for everybody. If you choose hybrid, that's what hybrid means. It means some virtual, some face-to-face. So if you chose hybrid, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday would be done at home. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they will come to class. The classes that they would take are going to be U.S. history, physical science, English 2, and sophomore seminar, and their college class at this time. So everybody that comes to school will have those classes by homeroom. Those are the classes that they would take. All other classes, some students have botany, some students have computer fundamentals, some students have human anatomy and physiology, U.S. government and economics. Those classes will be delivered online on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. I can't hear you. Okay, any other questions? And again, those core classes are going to be delivering the instruction virtually, online, to the students who show up. So the students who show up are going to get the same lesson that the virtual students get because we will be paperless. So all assignments will be pushed out using Canvas. And we will have some orientation days to Canvas, training days for students, because we didn't use Canvas on last year. So we will have some training for students about how to use Canvas, and we will get that information to you if we do it before school starts, or if we use the beginning of the school year to teach that to the students. So they would use Canvas to submit and receive assignments. But Zoom would be how you see the teacher. Okay, any other questions? Now you might think of some questions after this meeting, and then you would use your email. I do want you all to know I have been trying to really respond to everybody's emails, but I really have to work with the team because they are working nonstop as well to plan out all the little things. How do students go to the bathroom? What procedure do they need? Teaching them, use the paper towel to open the door, it's not your hand. Use the paper towel to put the faucet down. Like all these things we take for granted, I have to put in writing. And so all of these, so I'm saying if I don't get back to you quickly, know that I am, along with the team, we are working to make sure that we do everything we can do to make this a phenomenal year, even virtually. And so I will try to get back to you. You can also email Mrs. Molden. She'll have the same information, or Ms. Fleming. So if you think of questions, and you can use school status. You can use school status. I can't use school status with ninth grade. If you have, and I can't see the number, that's my number. Somebody on here might know the number where you could just text me your questions. But you can still use school status. So if there are no other questions, I hope that this helps some. I really hope that it calms some fears. I really do. And I hope that we will continue to work together to really do what's best for teaching and learning and what's best for our students. And so whatever decision you make, we really want to be partners in that. And just know that, we all have to be flexible as we change and as we learn more. And as the world around us, as it changes, we have to adapt to be successful. And so I appreciate you all. I'm a parent, and so I didn't want you all to have to wait until August to be. I try to be accessible, and I really do. And so does Mrs. Molden, and so do the other people. That's why they work so hard. And I just want to publicly thank Mrs. Molden. She's been leading our professional development with the teachers about what teaching and learning should really look like in a digital environment, standards-based instruction, early college high school philosophy, and how early colleges should deliver instruction differently. So she is doing a phenomenal job with that. And Ms. Fleming has been working nonstop with scheduling. We have a 5-block schedule, that doesn't even exist. So, we have been really, really working hard to make sure that our students going to have an excellent school year. They are. We're going to have an excellent school year. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So thank you all. Y'all be safe and be blessed and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.